Hello everyone, this is AB Roadrunners. We usually don't make videos like that. It's usually small towns we do. I just want to bring you up to date and about the wife's health and stuff. And I was going to explain to you about not before you buy land in Arizona and what to expect and what not to expect, and that's informative, so you won't get in a hole, spend some money, and then you back out of the whole deal. Okay, we're doing fine. She's in oxygen. I'm doing good. We're waiting for her blood tests and all that tests that she took to find out what's wrong with her blood clots, if they disappear or whatever. She's taking some medicine and Alfresh or whatever it is they call it, similar to that. They're two of them same. And so she's okay. She's in the other room resting up, but she's still in oxygen until we'll find out at the end of the month of what's going on. Now, this is informative and my way of thinking, which I have done some research and know about the area in Arizona, especially Navajo, Apache County, where a lot of nomads are living, or they buy land to stay there for a little bit and then to take off. So here's the thing: before you even decide to buy land in Arizona, a lot of the real estate people will not tell you anything anymore. Now there's some minor stuff and they're trying to sell you the land. Now I watched some videos of people looking at land and they said, well, there's a power line here, there's a power line there, that wouldn't be too hard to do that. Well, here's the thing. First of all, if you buy land, especially up in that area, it's called the high desert, or north of the rim, and he goes all the way from New Mexico to California. That includes Flagstaff and all that area, Kingman, all the way across. They call that high desert. It's between desert and mountain area in between. There's a lot of junipers, there's some pines in between. Very rare. Sometimes you get them in your property, sometimes you don't. Okay, so we know about all this. I hope this air conditioner doesn't do it. I'm doing this in the middle of the night because the air conditioner doesn't work, so I'm going to pick up some noise. Apologize for that. In order for you to buy land, it's cheap, okay? That's the cheapest area. It's Navajo in Apache County. There's some that you have to buy in Coconino, but I don't know what they go to. I owned 40 acres before. I had my own ranch. Wife's family had a ranch out there, so we pretty well know the area, and we also know a lot of the places up in that area, so if we see a video, we'll pretty well know where the place is at. Not exactly, you know, because we can't remember, but look at the surrounding areas, we've got an idea of where it's at. So that's how we know if it's a good area, a bad area, or whatever. The first thing you want to see is you find the land, you use whatever website you want to use, and you look it up and you satellite it in and you check to make sure you've got good, decent roads. Okay, a lot of those roads up there is being shared, it's not maintained, and then you get these people with four-wheel drives and they just tear the road up, put ruts in them, and then you go up there and your SUV is not high enough or your car's not high enough and you start bottoming out. We sold our place before we had up there due to health, but decided to move back up because everything in the valley got too expensive. That's the Phoenix area. So the first thing you do, you find the land, you like it, you need to check with the county for regulations. I think it's county health department, I'm not sure, but you need to check with that. Now, before you get too excited because you find a piece of land that you like, even if you drive down and see it, a lot of you are from out of town, so you might want to take a trip, but you can, in Arizona, it's called CCR, County Code and Regulations. Every property has it. There are some places where they have HOAs, and those places are where somebody decided to start a housing development and it didn't work out, but he marked it down on paper and it's HOA. He couldn't make it, now he's selling it individually, trying to sell it individually, and you don't want no HOA. Even though nobody will really regulate it, unless you've got a bad neighbor and they may turn you in. Second part is the most important part of them all. You cannot have anything, and I mean anything, utility-wise. You cannot have high-speed cable. You cannot have electricity. You do not have water unless you dig a well, or there's a well, a community well close by that you can buy water. There's places you can buy water, and there's community wells, and they charge so much that you got to pay. And if you don't pay that, what they'll do is they'll change the combination because they got locks on it, and they'll shut you off. And they're very strict on that, because in that area, in order to get water, you have to go close to 13, 15, 2,000 feet deep in order to get the good water. You can get bad water, you can get regular water, drinking water, but without going too deep, else you run out. You got to go down to the aquifer. And the thing is, the first thing you have to do is get a septic tank put in. So you have to go to the county and get your permits, which costs anywhere between $300 or $400. They'll give you a name, and you'll have somebody come out, and you tell them you want to put a septic in, and then you tell them where, and he'll come out and he'll test out. They'll dig 3 or 4 holes, probably a 6 by 8 or something like that, to see if there's water that the septic can drain. Because the area on top, it looks dirty, you know, like dirt, loose dirt and dust. But you go down about a foot or so and it gets real hard clay. Now there are places where they got big rocks. Now a lot of people underestimate those rocks. Oh, that's a good place to put a place. Guess what? You're going to be tearing up somebody's backhoe, and a lot of people won't even dig because they know the area, because some of those rocks look small on top, but they're boulders in the bottom. I know that for a fact, because I dug a few up myself. Without a septic tank, like I said, they will not allow you to have anything. So you look in the inspection, the guy to come out and dig the well, and then they have to take a test, a purge test, I think you call it, for you to put a septic in. If they give you the permit, then you can do it yourself if you want, or you can have somebody put it in. Putting one in will cost you close to anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000. In Arizona, the law states the septic tank goes by how many bedrooms that you have. So if you have like a 3-bedroom house, you're looking at about 1,500 to 2,000 gallon septic. But like I said, without the septic, you cannot have anything. A lot of people see those poles up there, but they don't realize it's high-speed cable. We have high-speed internet, and they think that they're power lines. When you see a pole, utility pole that has one line going by halfway down, or a quarter or three-quarters of the way down, a quarter of the way down, it means that's a high-speed internet. The electrical wire is way up on top. So say you want to buy a place, you put your septic tank in and you want it, unless the power line is close to your property, it'll cost you, or as I said, $1,000 a pole, and you have to buy your own poles to put in. The electric company, you contact them after they see your information, you got septic tank and everything, and they will bring the line in. You don't have to pay for the line, but you have to buy the box and the meter. Well, a lot of people don't understand that, and they think, well, I'll just call it the power company and they'll put it in. Well, we tried that from experience, because I wasn't thinking. I thought the internet was a power line. So that's what we done. That told us what we had to do. We got the codes, and I'm not going to go through and read everything that they got. The only thing we looked at is you have to use county codes. If they catch you putting an illegal septic tank in, a lot of people do that. They get those barrels, dig a hole, and put a pipe in here, and they make their own stuff. There are signs up there. They're all over, but if you don't pay attention, you probably won't notice it, because they're old signs, and it says it's illegal to put your own septic system in. And putting in those other ones that will take it out. Now there's a property down the street from me where somebody moved in, put his own septic in, which it was illegal, but he'd done it quite a few times years ago. He had power. Well, they found out he had an illegal septic tank in, and they cut the wires off, knocked his pole down on his property, and they dug up his septic tank that he had on the ground that he was using. Well, they found out it was illegal. Now the thing that gets me is we have a lot of this influence people, that big YouTubers, which more likely that's all they want to do is sell products that you can read the same thing if you go into Amazon or their website. And that's what they tell you, and they say, well, yeah, you can do that, you can get that, you can do this. Well, thing is, so you decide to buy the property, you get the okay for the septic tank, you got your rocks, you move out of the way, make a driveway, then you got to buy, well, we'll call it cinders, rocks, crushed rock, or whatever, and you got to put rock down, or when it rains, your vehicle is going to get stuck. And that usually runs about $700–800 a truckload, and they'll come in, they'll tailgate it, and if you want it packed in, you got to do it all for yourself. But I want to mention that because a lot of those YouTubers won't tell you. The real estate people will say, well, you have to do your own diligence. Well, you're getting paid to sell the property. You need to tell the people. If that's the case, don't even go to real estate people. Now, they might get mad if they see this video, but I wouldn't have a real estate person unless they went through their codes and they know what they are. And I'll usually make a sign, a paper stating, when I bought my property, that they checked all the stuff that I take, no HOA, how the roads are maintained, and stuff. The other thing is, you got to make sure you have trees around your area. A lot of people think it's for privacy. It's not for privacy. It's to keep the wind down. In that area that we live in, and everybody else, YouTubers here, I don't want to mention their name, but they said that they understand, and a lot of them leave in the wintertime because it gets cold. Unless you build a good insulated house like you do in Minnesota or Detroit, up in Michigan, Canada, it's cold. That dry air is cold. It's not a wet cold like it is in the Midwest and stuff. And I mean, you get cold. A lot of people, they end up leaving in the summer, in the wintertime, and they head down. If you notice, a lot of the YouTubers that live in that area, all of a sudden they say, well, I'm in Quartzsite, I'm in Tucson, I'm in Phoenix. Well, they went there because it got so cold up there and they can't afford it, or they don't know how to live in that type of weather. So I hope this will help some people and save some money and time. It is a good area to live in. People are friendly if you need help. Some people are not friendly, just leave me alone. You say hi, how you doing? You ask them, is it okay if I come over and ask you questions? You can come over, you're welcome, or whatever you want to, or you just tell them to stay away. Or you stay away, they'll tell you to stay away. So it's up to you, whatever you decide you want to do. So like I said, this is not a joke or something like that, or trying to keep you to stay away from Arizona. This is stuff that you gotta face. And I made the comment on somebody's video and I told them about it, and they said, well, I like the area and it is what it is. So I said, okay, if you got the money, go ahead and buy it. Nobody's stopping you. Now the only thing I can tell you, and I know that for a fact, the majority of the people up there that live off grid end up leaving within a year or two. You don't go in there and you put gravel down and make your driveway so you can park your RV, cut the trees down and everything else. The only thing you're doing is living a big mess, and you're paying for somebody else when you put that gravel down. Our property was the same way. They had gravel down. They stayed there, they didn't like it, they moved because it was too cold. Now the area, you can stay there in your RV for 6 months. That's what we were told by the county. But you have to leave after 6 months. Might be 3 months, but I think it's 6 months. Then you have to leave and you can come back next year. It's like all the other places you go to, there's like the 14 days, then you move, then you come back and all that stuff. Well, that's how it goes up there unless you have the money to build a house. And if you decide to build a house, you're looking close to 150,000. Because that area up there is on a mountain, and it's 20 miles or so, 25 miles to the hardware stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, or grocery stores. Either way you go, you have to drive, the minimum is 20 miles. So you gotta want to think about that. Plus the other thing, if you're gonna stay there year round, you better have a four-wheel drive. The county does maintain some of the roads. And if you buy property and you're close to a maintained road and you see them doing it, if you ask them politely, they'll smooth out the road a little bit for you to make it a little bit easier. Some people do it, some people don't. They just keep driving on it, and sometimes it depends who runs the grading on it. But a lot of people think, well, if I drive 50, 60 miles an hour and I won't have no ruts on it. Well, guess what? I seen when they graded the road and they rotted it out. And it's a maintained road. It's a county maintained road. Now they are doing more with the roads up there to make it easier for people. We left. We haven't been up there. Well, I went back up and I seen where they're starting to do some cheap seals and packing some of the main roads down where they have a lot of traffic. But a lot of it that usually is caliche, and if it dries up and you drive too fast, you have smoke, dust flying all over the place, and it messes everything up. You get them into your engine, you get it into your RV, in your car, your truck, it's all over. You wash it. When you go home, you're going to be in trouble. You wash it at your house. By the time you get out to the main road and the asphalt, you're back looking worse than you did before, because it happened to me. I did. I washed my RV, I washed my car. I got drove 5 miles down the road and it was full of dust. But that's all I needed to say, and hope to see you down the road. Thank you very much. This is AB Roadrunners, and I hope this video helps you. Bye for now. Push the button in the back. In the back.